All right, welcome to this Saturday Q&A live together with me. We're going to be talking about how to make money online. We're going to be answering questions from my girlfriend who's sitting right there. She has prepared some questions. So I'm going to be ready to respond basically to anything she has. I don't know what questions she has prepared. So I think this is going to be fun. And also, if you guys join and you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat as well. I'm going to try to pull up the chat. I'm not sure if it's going to work here on my end, but yeah, let's do this. First question.
All right, let's get started. Warm up. What are you most excited about right now?
What are you most excited about right now? Right now, I'm most excited about scaling the business. All I can think about is just growing the business and like thinking how I can get better, how can I get smarter, how can we, make more money. So for the past 4 months or so, we've been figuring out how to make better content, how to make better tutorials, and that has been like kind of that has been characterizing this whole period in this life. So we've gotten really good at making tutorials, and we've gotten really good at making these videos. So the videos are performing well. They are starting to get traction. They're starting to rank because we just focus on being the best in class. And really, all I can think right now about is just like growing the business and scaling everything. So I go to bed, writing sometimes about like what are the next steps, kind of planning, thinking, right? I've been sober for almost like a year now. I don't smoke weed anymore. I don't drink, right? I kind of stopped doing all that and just super focused. I live a pretty simple, minimalistic life at this point. I really don't go out. I don't do any like substances. I don't do anything. Like I mean, all I do is just like think about how to grow the business, work on the business, work in the business. Um, and yeah, everything is characterized just by growing and thinking about how I can get better, how I can grow this. So yeah, most excited I'm about is just launching my personal brand website, setting up a sales machine there. Like I'm now working on some of my digital products, which is like my first course, Affiliate Academy, about affiliate marketing is going to be launching hopefully sometime soon. We're now in the editing process of it. What else? Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. I'm now starting to experiment a little bit more with like Facebook ads. So I realized the importance of building an email list. Now I'm starting to like buy, I have a campaign going on right now on Facebook ads where I'm buying leads essentially, and we're going to be warming them up and converting them into like customers. And then from there, we're probably going to have some high ticket offering as well. So one thing that I yesterday kind of realized was there was this big news, right, about Ty Lopez. What's his name? The guy who exposes people or who's like the internet police, YouTube police guy. Not the CoffeeZilla, but the other guy. He basically made a video that Ty Lopez is now being sued by SEC, like around $112 million for the time when they bought some companies and they did some shenanigans about transferring money from one company to pay investors in another company. Anyway, point is like Charlie Munger says, your reputation is the single most important thing. So oftentimes I feel like I want to go faster. I want to run faster. I want to get, kind of cut corners and, sell high ticket stuff or something, get money fast. But then at the same time, I realize like, all right, you know what? This is a long game. Like this is a marathon. I recently ran a marathon. Man, that bitch is hard. You start off, you have all this energy and you like go fast at the beginning, but then like it takes a lot of fucking time and energy to complete that thing. So pace yourself, and this is what I remind myself as well, is like pace yourself, man. This is a long game, right? I'm in this for the long term. So like, reputation is the single most important thing. Don't like burn yourself out. Take like show up, right? Daily. But don't try to cut corners. That's what I'm kind of aiming for. So I want to have my brand, I want to have my digital products, but at the same time, I want to make sure that what I'm doing is other people actually find valuable. So we were listening to the podcast yesterday of Jay Shetty and Emma Watson, and he was like, yeah, you want to go further, but when you can't go any more further, you have to go deep. So to take 3 steps forward, sometimes you got to take 3 steps deep. So it really resonated with me what he said. And sometimes when I feel a bit stuck or I don't know what to go, it's good to like take a day or two, just like pause and then just like follow curiosity, see what others are doing online, read something, listen to some podcasts, do some reflecting, and then go back to it again. So, yeah, long-winded answer to your question.
Nice. All right, now let's not go further or deeper, but backwards. If everything was taken away from you right now, how would you make your first 10K?
All right, if everything was taken away from me, how would I make my first 10K? By the way, Sabir, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. All right, how would I make my first 10K if I was starting over again and everything? But I have my knowledge.
Yeah. All the material.
Okay, all the material. Okay, so I have no money and I have no equipment, nothing, right?
You have your phone
Okay.
and your laptop.
Okay, I have my phone, my laptop. My goal is to make 10K and I know everything I know now. Yeah. So, I mean, I talk about it and I don't deviate it from it. So, the fastest way to make 10K, in my opinion, is to start creating content, right? Content is the new gold. And the way I would go about it, I would just start creating short, simple tutorials, literally about anything you can like have on your phone, right? Or on your computer. I would just like screen record. I would ask ChatGPT what are the steps to complete this. Then I would do it first myself. If everything like works, then I would just start creating basically these very simple tutorials. That's like the lowest barrier to entry. You can just put up a channel and like right now, if you have it, you can just start recording, do very simple edits, with CapCut or something. And then I would upload those and, if those videos are good, they will get traffic, right? They will get traffic over time. It's not going to be instant. That's the thing. It's not going to be like right away, but it will work, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is once I have like a catalog of videos on my channel, I would then go ahead and uh, I would apply to affiliate networks, CJ, Impact, Partner Stack, Awin, right? And I would start basically applying to affiliates programs, so AKA partnering up with companies, getting affiliated with them. And I would really start to establish like relationships with these companies. Like I think I've been working a lot over the past months with these companies, and what I've realized is that you need to establish deep relationships with these managers, with these companies, because behind every big company is just essentially a team of people who are getting, who are making, who are making things, right? So, oftentimes, if when you are just starting out, um, you will have some basic terms, right, of like affiliate programs. And then if you hop on a call, if you talk, if you start to create some content, oftentimes they have a buffer where they can offer you more favorable terms. They can be like, hey, instead of 20% recurring, we'll give you 40% recurring. Hey, instead of, $25 CPA, we'll give you a $50 CPA. So relationships in business, what I have learned is very important. And yeah. So I would start applying for affiliate networks, start talking to these managers, start creating content about, these different programs and these different companies, right? This is what I'm doing essentially now and it's working. Um, but yeah, the foundation of it is content creation, right? Like I said, content creation is the most important thing that you can learn. I mean, anything you want. If you look at all the top, guys, Hormozi, Ali Abdal, Iman Gadji, whatever it is, they all make content because content is the distribution. You can distribute it across many different platforms. You can get attention, eyeballs, and you can drive it to whatever it is that you have going on. The reason I say affiliate marketing is the easiest for beginners is because you don't need to create your own product. You don't need to, figure out what the market wants. You don't need to figure out, are people going to pay for it or not, right? Obviously, there are downsides. The downsides with affiliate marketing is that you're not building your own list, right? And that is kind of a big big downside of it, right? If you want to, eventually you want to transition like I am right now into having, your own domain, your own site, building up your own list, selling your own products, right? So eventually, once you have like more experience and more skills and more, um, money, essentially, you can, yeah, then you should start building out your own digital products. But for beginners starting out, affiliate marketing is like the easiest way to monetize traffic. But again, it comes down to creating content. So just learn how to make content. That's like the thing, right? If you don't have money, then you should use time and energy. Once you have money, then you can just start using that money to get other people to help you create content. And that's how you scale.
All right.
Right? Next question.
Next question. You already mentioned ChatGPT. What is your favorite AI tool right now and why?
Yeah, ChatGPT is my favorite AI tool right now.
Okay.
I'm a power user of ChatGPT. I mean, I use it for everything. Obviously, oh yeah, ChatGPT and Lovable.dev. Lovable.dev is my one of my favorite AI tools right now. I mean, my whole ecosystem is now being built with Lovable.dev. I mean, my sites, my landing pages, all of that, like everything, just that front end is ChatGPT, and I use it with Lovable.dev. I use it in combination with ChatGPT, where if I don't understand something, I'll screenshot, put it into ChatGPT, ask it, what is it asking me of, right? So things like, setting up a landing page and then like installing a pixel from Facebook, for example, right? If you want to track things and stuff. Like before, I would have to copy the code, go into the code section and then paste it in, figure it out, is it working or not? Now, I just copy the code, I screenshot the instructions, I put it into lovable.dev, and I'm like, hey, install this code according to instructions. I don't even copy the instructions, I just like screenshot it and paste it, and then it does it for me. How crazy is that, right? So yeah, for anything building, I use Lovable. I'm on their subscription thing that I'm paying. For The only thing I don't like about Lovable is that every time you set up a new landing page, you have to go into the settings and you need to say, like, I don't want to have the Lovable icon showing up on every site. And sometimes if I forget about it, then it will be there. And I'm already paying so I would prefer by default they not have the made with Lovable thing, but that's just a minor thing. Right? Yeah, obviously ChatGPT. Oh yeah, Nano Banana is pretty good if you want to create some quick graphics if you want to test something out, if you have an idea. But I still use a graphic designer for most of my graphics in the business. Yeah, very important to have team members who are good and who are fast. Like, very important. Good and fast, right? Not necessarily cheap, but good and fast, because you can essentially, if you have an idea, right? I had an idea for the ad campaign, and then I was like, okay, I need a graphic for that. Then I messaged my guy and I'm like, hey, I have this idea, put it together. He does it, like, he gets it to me the next morning, and right away I can launch it on my site on a Facebook ad campaign, and boom, I'm live, I'm collecting leads, right? Before that, I would need to, if I don't have the person, I need to go find or make myself. I'm not good at this, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, team members are crucial too. But coming back to your question, lovable.dev and ChatGPT, those are my go-to tools.
Not bad. A bit of a challenge now. Give me an AI business model I can just copy paste to make 10K.
Give me an AI business model that I can copy paste right now. Kind of those titles were just copy me 10K.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, copy paste 10K AI business model. Well, I had a chat with Chris, the guy recently from India. He is basically, what he's doing is he has AI scrape Google Maps for, like car detailing shops or whatever. And you can do this, by the way, worldwide. You don't need to do it in your local area. You can do it like anywhere. So you just take Google Maps, you take one specific area, for example, right? And then you say, all right, we'll figure out how to do it, right? I don't know how to do it, but you have to figure it out. Google Maps AI scrape me car detailing shops. It goes out and gives you all the information, right? Scrapes their phone, their website, whatever. Then you go ahead, you pull out all their info from their website, you go to bolt.new or you go to lovable.dev, and you say, build me a website for this car detailing shop. And this is all of their info from their current site. Their current site is shit. Build me like a much better one, right? Well, then what? Guess what? It goes ahead, it builds out the whole website for you. Then screen record the website or like do a loom if you want to, like, yeah, you can just do a loom. You can say, hey, what's up, my name is George, I put together this new website for you, take a look at it. You know, you're in a little circle, then you're showing the website, look, these are all your pages, this is all your info. It's like super personalized, right? You pull all their images, and then you put together an email, you send it to them, and you say, hey, I made you a website, a new website, do you want to buy it? Like, are you interested in getting a new website, right? And the conversion rate is going to be super high because it's personalized. Like personalization is super. If you just reach out to someone, no video attached, you just like, hey, you know, you need to get more clicks on your YouTube videos, yada yada. That's crap. Like no one, your response rate is going to be super low. But if you're like highly personalized, highly targeted, like, yeah, you are gonna have a big reply and a big close rate as well. And like, I mean, if you charge a couple of, you know, if you charge 2.5K, for example, for a website, you only need to sell 4 websites a month in order to make 10K. You can just literally do it from your computer, right? Bolt.new, Google Maps, scrape it, build a site, make a screen record, send a personalized email to each of these, you know, shops, and that's it. You're in business. They'll reply to you. They're like, oh, cool. Thank you very much for putting together this website. Yes, we're definitely interested. You know, jump on a call with them, schedule a call, sell them the website, and then boom, send them the invoice, they send you the money, you give them the code or whatever it is, figure out how to give them the website, and that's it. You made your first 2.5K from one client. Do it 3 more times, you just made your first 10K. And you can do it all by yourself, so your overhead is going to be nothing. Well, okay, you might pay for the tools a little bit, but that's a small cost. So that's my 10K method. Not mine. I stole it from Chris.
Great artist.
Yeah, good artist copy, great artist steal.
All right. Let's. You have anything to add?
No.
Next question. Let's talk about personal brand a bit more.
Personal branding, yes.
Explain why do you want to build a personal brand, first of all. Why should why?
Okay, why do I want to build a personal brand? Well, because now in the age of AI, right? Basically everything is becoming commoditized. So what I mean by that is that, you know, anyone can go ahead now and build a 100-page ebook lead magnet, or anyone can put together a course, or, you know, that is not where the value is. The value is not going to be any longer in like the products or anything like this, you know. Where the real value is going to be is going to be in authentic personal brands. And that's also the reason why I'm starting to do more of these like live streams, why I'm also going to be doing more like raw content where I'm just talking, because humans, people connect, they don't remember necessarily like, you know, fat like statistics or numbers or anything like complex kind of cognitive prefrontal cortex things, right? They will remember like your stories, your beliefs, your values, right? Those are very important. So, and that's where kind of the real connection comes in, because in this age of AI, I believe and I bet that we're going to be craving more of the human connection. That's what we want, right? So forming these parasocial relationships on the internet, and that's why I'm leaning more towards the personal brand, because the more we move into this era of like automation and where, you know, these kind of products are losing their value, right? That the pure information is going to be more about the human connection. So personal branding, in my opinion, is going to be extremely important. And I think that's, you know, if you want to play this game long term, you need to put yourself out there, not be scared, you know, say what you think, say what you believe, right? Say your values, share your stories, right? And some people will connect with that. So that's why I think personal brand is super important. Is because it will give you like, it's the only moats you can have, right? If you're in this doing this thing, right? Warren Buffett talks about the moats. Well, no one can be you, right? Like you're unique, huh? You're a unique butterfly, but like really you're unique, right? So no one can be you, and if you just talk and you share stories, then that's the unique thing about you, is just being who you are. So yeah, that's why I think personal brands are important.
All right. Let's get to know you
Okay,
then a bit
sure.
better. Let's go deeper.
All right, let's
All
go
right.
deeper.
Are you driven by money? Are you most driven by?
Okay, what am I most driven by?
And I will give you options here.
Okay,
Money,
money,
sex,
sex,
status,
status,
or freedom?
or freedom. Okay, that's a good question. I think, and I've been thinking a lot about this, and I've been asking Chatty, like, what do you think I'm driven by? Like, what have you observed about me that I haven't observed about myself, right? Those kind of questions. And I think, and also looking at my behavior and like the kind of recurring patterns across everything, I think I'm most driven by status slash mastery. Okay, that's what I think I'm most driven by. Um, I really like to figure things out. My first ever YouTube video, when I didn't even know that you can make money on YouTube, like before I had the incentive of making money, when I was 15 or 16 years old, I was into, I was learning how to make beats with GarageBand, with Logic Pro. And my first ever video, for whatever reason, was I figured out how to make a simple beat. Like I was spending like every day doing it, right? And then I just decided for whatever reason, I don't know why, just record a video showing people how to do it, like how I did it. Like, look, I figured it out. And yeah, it's proof on my channel. Like, this is the first video, things like 11 or 12 years ago or something. So I like to figure things out, and then I like to get good at them. I like to become kind of like a master of the craft, really understand, really like get into the details of it. And then of course I have these stories in my head of like other people admiring me for, being right or being really good at that thing, oh, like he's really good at what he does. I believe kind of in this one, getting very, very, very detailed and granular about one specific thing, right? So if it's content creation, then I really want to figure out all the different angles. Okay, how do we make a 1 hour, extremely in-depth, like top first in class tutorial? You might think that's easy. That's fucking hard. you know, we've been cracking that code for the past 4 months, and all these little details, come into play. So, okay, I cracked the code on that. We figured it out, right? What's the next step? I'm always thinking like, what's the next thing? And then always constantly like solving problems and figuring out how to do it better. So I would say I'm most driven by mastery slash status, kind of being admired in my field, in whatever I do. I think the second thing is, what is it? The second thing, probably sex. Probably mating and sex is the second most powerful driver for me. I don't think we have to get into detail about that. Maybe that's for a different conversation. But yeah, and freedom. I would say freedom. Maybe freedom. It's really hard to like point them, because humans are so complex. We're driven by a lot of different things. So I would say freedom is also a huge one. I think actually freedom is probably like competing with mastery in the first place. I never wanted to go work for someone else. I always wanted to just work for myself. I never even had the idea to go work for anybody else. And that was because I didn't want to be told what to do, where to be, how much I'm gonna get paid. Like none of that, right? Like Mark Cuban says, I'd rather work 80 hours a week and make 50K than work 40 hours a week for someone else and make, 100K. I have the same attitude. Like I'd rather work more and make less doing it for myself than less work and more money but for someone else, right? So there's only one life, and there's no rules really. I mean, there are laws, but there's no rules of how you should live and how you should go about everything. It's just Yeah, you decide. And I love that kind of freedom as well. So I would probably say freedom is also a huge motivating factor for me. Freedom, mastery, sex, money. I would say that. Yeah, I'm not really into like materialistic things. I don't think so. Like I don't care about very much jewelry. I wear nothing. I have no necklaces, I have no rings, I have no watches. Like I'm a super kind of easy guy with that, you know? Yeah. I don't need to signal with my materialistic things that like I'm rich or whatever. Well, first off, I'm not rich. I'm rich, you know, everything is relative, right? So, but I wouldn't want to like, I don't think I really care about signaling that like, I'm wealthy or whatever when I do get with like buying a watch or whatever. I love beautiful cars, like sports cars and everything. And that's because they're fun to drive. It's really, when you look at it, a beautiful car, you're like, wow, this is so beautiful. And you want to like get in and drive it, right? And of course, I want to have also a beautiful house because it's comfortable and that's where I spend most of my time. But yeah, like rings and diamonds and all of that, I don't really care about that, to be honest. Yeah.
And please explain to all the viewers why should they ask this question themselves as well? Why should they understand why are they motivated? What are they motivated by?
Yeah, it's important to know what you're motivated by because, you want to solve for the right thing. You like in life, right? You got to figure out what you're motivated by, and then you need to like basically make everything in a way that you're solving for that thing. So, like, you can be solving for the most money, but matter of fact, you're most motivated by freedom. And maybe you don't need to have all this money. More money, more problems, right? As they say. So maybe you're most motivated by freedom, but then you start to solve for the most money, and then you find yourself in this kind of like, you know, golden prison where you're making more, but then you don't have so much freedom. And then you're like, man, this fucking sucks because you're solving for the wrong thing. So if you're like a super extroverted social person and you're most motivated by mating, well, then you have to go and like maybe figure out some kind of a social club for yourself or some restaurant or hospitality or whatever it is. Um, yeah, that's I think what it is. Someone wrote, "I'm homeless and my next goal is to get another hit." Yeah, that is that's a problem. If that's you and that's the case, then well, you have internet connection, you have your phone, so. But yeah, I've been addicted to weed myself as well. I smoked it for 10 years, and you might say, oh yeah, like weed is not an addictive drug. It's not dangerous. Look at all this rappers and everything. Man, it is extremely addictive. I know people who like wake up, smoke all day, smoke, go to bed, like they don't even go to bed, they just stay up whole night, smoke, right? So I know people like that, and a lot of my friends are like, you know they can't not do it like every night pretty much, so you end up doing it like every evening. um, so yeah, if you are trying to be successful and you don't and you have bad habits, like you're doing drugs or you're drinking or whatever, well, those substances, they take away, first of all, money, your energy, your clarity of mind. So you wake up, you have a foggy head, right? You're not as sharp, you're not as clear, and it really stunts your progress and it really stunts your growth. And I say this from my own personal experience because I did it for 10 years. I started when I was like 17 and a half, 18, something like this. And it was all fun and jokes, ha ha ha, just, hanging out with my friends in the evening and university times, until I couldn't like even until I couldn't not do it, right? I was just, yeah, it's really easy to fall into that trap. And then you just find yourself like literally chemically addicted to something. So I like to think of it in terms of like tackling the most important thing in front of you, like the problems, right? So if you have like You need to look at everything and to say, okay, I'm addicted to weed, like to drugs. I'm overweight and I have no money. Well, you cannot not tackle these first two things and then go straight into solving money problem. You need to first tackle your addiction, right? Addiction first. That's going to be the hardest thing for you to tackle. Then once you figure out the addiction, then you go into solving your weight problem. Then you figure out my eating habits, then you get the weight down. And then once you figure out first thing, second thing, then you go into figuring the solving the money thing. You cannot solve the money thing if you have addiction and you're overweight, right? It's just, you need to do it one by one. So yeah, that's why yeah, really, I think it's like that. If you're addicted, overweight, and you have no money, solve addiction first, then solve the weight problem, then tackle the money. You're going to be more fit, more energetic, you're going to have more clarity of mind, and that way you'll be able to have much more momentum and energy going on. But staying sober is not easy. I'm telling you this, staying sober is not easy. I talk it from my first perspective. It's part of my story. It's kind of like there's a saying, make your mess your message. So yeah, my message was I was trying to build while I had this bad habit, and it would always be like I would get some momentum and then I would destroy that momentum on the weekend, on the Saturday when I, went out to, a social club in Spain, or when I would get some weed here at home. And, then I would just, for 2 days, I would just be lazy. I would have fog in my mind. I wouldn't do anything. Now, look at me. Saturday morning, I'm live streaming. I already did things. I'm going to do more things, right? And last night I was doing things. So the reason we do drugs is because life is painful and it's hard, okay? And you want to numb emotions. You want to get away from the pain, right? Humans, they move away from pain and towards pleasure. Well, guess what? Drugs are exactly like this. You move away from pain, right? They numb your emotions. You don't feel the day-to-day pain, and they give you this blissful feeling. So that's why drugs are super dangerous. Anyway, next question, please.
Well, I'm gonna push more on that.
Okay.
I have all these great excuses why not to do it. So how do you do that? How do you just decide?
You have all these excuses not to do what?
Quit drugs. I have excuses to stay obese. I have all these excuses why I cannot succeed in life.
Yeah.
How do I no, I can't do it.
Yeah, if you can't do it, someone else will. Life is very cruel, First rule of life is competition, okay? No one cares about you, man. No one cares about you except for you and maybe your mom. That's it, So if you don't want to do it, well, the world's not going to care. You're going to live a mediocre life, and that's going to be just fine. I mean, really, no one cares. Everybody just cares about themselves. So if you do want to do it, right, then just do it.
But it's not that easy.
No, it is that easy. You just make a conscious decision. You wake up, today you woke up and you have a decision. What are you going to do? You have 24 hours. Everybody does. You slept for 8. You have 16 left. What are you going to do? It's up to you. You decide what you're going to eat. How are you going to spend your time? Are you going to inject drugs into your body or not? It's really as that. It's conscious decisions every single day. And you need to think about your habits, right? You need to think about consciously. You can read books about The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. You can read Atomic Habits. Educate yourself, learn, your own behavior, why you do certain things, and, how to really get rid of that trap. But yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it or anything like this. It's really just about making a decision. That's it. I'm not gonna do it anymore. And then you just don't. You just don't do it. It's as simple as that. It sounds so funny, but you just don't do it. There's Charlie Munger, who I'm a big admirer of. He said, it's often it's not the things that we do, it's often the things that we should not do that give us the most positive as well. So he's a big fanatic of like reverse engineering or like converting everything. So instead of thinking like how can I be rich, think about how can I not be poor, right? Instead of thinking how can I be healthy, think about how I can be not healthy, and then don't do that, right? So yeah, don't inject chemicals into your body. That's a pretty it's a pretty easy way to stay healthy. Once you don't do that, then you're gonna have all this time and all this energy, and then you're naturally gonna think about, all right, well, I'm pretty bored. Like, what should I do? All right, let's go to a group training class and let's fucking exercise, right? Let's do a HIIT training, for example, high intensity interval training. That's what we do on Sundays. We're gonna go tomorrow as well. That's crazy, right? Because if you're like me and you go to the gym and you're gonna hang on your phone and you're gonna do some weights, like you're gonna pretend like you're working out, but you're not really. So, so yeah, just group training class is a great thing. You want to substitute, if you're trying to quit a drug, right? Substitute it for something else that you can get addicted to or something that will give you that rush, right? And so doing drugs is like easy because you don't have to do much. You just sit on the couch, you roll up, you smoke, and then yeah, just you get the high, you get the hits, right? But going to a group training class and like exercising like a motherfucker for an hour is hard. But afterwards, you feel this nice kind of release of energy, this nice tiredness, and is yeah, you got to exercise at least like 3 times a week. I feel like 2, 3 times a week. If you're trying to be like a successful, I feel, entrepreneur, you got to exercise at least 2, 3 times a week, like sweat. Thursdays we go to this Pilates core class where we do like just pure abs, very intense. Like we're just drenched afterwards. After that, then Sundays we go to this gym called Tribe here in Helsinki. We do a HIIT workout, so that is also very intense. And then what else do we do? We used to climb. Sometimes now we go to the gym. Maybe we go swim. Every day we also do cold plunges. So, all right. Let's see. Is this religious? No, it's not. George, could you please tell me how to become more productive and avoid distractions from social media and other things that affect my focus? Yeah. Take your phone, put it in a drawer in the morning. Don't take it out until 1, 2 p.m., depending on just like block out time without phone. Phone is very distracting. I'm also prone to being distracted by the phone. So put it away physically, like literally physically put it away and don't take it out. I feel like that's the thing. You can delete social media apps. You'll probably reinstall them later when you feel like you deserve it or you have a moment. But the night before you have your next day, right? Write down one thing that you want to accomplish, right? Say you have a big project. Sabir, I know that you're editing videos, right? And you say, okay, I have this one big project for tomorrow and I want to get this, editing done, right? I have this 50 minutes of screen recording that I got to do. And then just say to yourself, I'm not gonna take my phone out until I get that thing done, right? And then like when you wake up, just don't do anything else until you accomplish that one thing. Okay, yeah, do some stretching, maybe go for a swim, have a coffee or whatever, but like don't eat because as soon as you eat, you're gonna feel like lazy and foggy. Like today I had some breakfast, but it's different. But usually I just have some yogurt, like very light, and some coffee, and then just like get into the day. And then I kind of make myself hungry because if you think about it, if you're just like physically hungry, you're gonna be like hungry for accomplishment and for work as well. It's like, yeah, it helps a lot to be hungry when to get work done as well. So yeah, focus, man, and just put the phone away and make yourself physically hungry and just get it done. That's it. Um, yes, I can. Uh, Stop watching YouTube videos on how to get off your phone. um, yeah. Well, actually, I like YouTube. I'm a big fan of YouTube and I watch YouTube myself a lot to get inspirations from what others are doing and all of that. So, yeah, it's you like long form, not short form, but like long form. I'll find sometimes a nice video, and I like to watch from all different, sometimes I'll watch some Olympic athletes, sometimes I'll watch some engineering videos, sometimes I'll watch something else. So just getting different stimuli. Um, this must be pre-recorded. You're kind of handsome anyway. Bye. Ciao. Thanks. I have a problem. I feel my country is being slowly invaded by migrants, and I'm having horrendous thoughts of how it's going to end. Yeah. It's like, what can you do about it? You can't do anything about it. So it's like, there's things that are in your control, and then there are things that are outside of your control. So like worrying about things that are out of your control is counterproductive, because what are you going to do about it? It's not up to you, right? You can vote, right, for a different party or whatever, but it's really not in your control, right? You can't control if the winter is going to be, cold or warm, or, you can't control which direction your country takes. You can have your own little say in that, of course, if you're living in a democratic country. But other than that, I mean, just focus on the things that you can control. Again, coming back to like the daily thing, like, okay, I can control, um, I can control what I eat today. I can control how I spend my time today. I can control where I put my focus towards. So that I think is very important. Just controlling the things that you can control and not worrying about things. That's why I also I don't really read news, for example, because it's just gonna like affect me in a negative way. I'm gonna get clickbaited into watching some shit and like reading something, and then I'm gonna start worrying, oh my God, something bad is happening. It's like, why? Bad things have happened, bad things are happening, and guess what? Bad things will continue to happen. So yeah, just ignore them. Like the world is not collapsing, man. I'm pretty sure in our lifetime, the world is going to be just fine. If you read history, like 20th century was crazy. There's fucking two world wars, presidents getting killed and assassinations and all these things. So like, just just live your life. Worry about the things like that you can control, and don't worry about the things you can't. Next question.
Let's go back to business. Or do you have
Yes.
some questions there?
Well, there's some questions, but let's go back
Let's-
to business for a second.
All right. Give me your 2026 goal and 3 steps you're gonna take now towards that goal. Next.
Okay, what's my 2026 goals? A goal, and what are the 3 steps that I'm gonna take towards that goal?
Next, yeah.
Okay, next year. So my biggest goal for 2026 is to go deeper into the personal branding, right? I want to get good at live streams. I want to have more interaction with audiences live. I want to build up an audience with whom to interact, answer questions. I want to integrate eventually like kind of calls where, people would be able to call on a live stream, ask questions live. We would answer them, not just through chat. That's one thing. Um, but yeah, my biggest goal is to build my personal brand in 2026. Go deeper into that, and you know, launch more digital products, grow my email list, build more funnels, set up a sales system. Have appointment setters, sales per people, figure out like that whole ecosystem. That's what I really want to move now towards, because yeah, it's I've realized that if you want to get rich and if you want to make more money, first and foremost, you should not rely on organic only. You should boost your things, like you should pay to play. So you have to spend money on ads, because that's the way you can just amplify your things, right? Well, okay, if you're gonna be spending money on ads, you need to have some kind of a marketing funnel and a sales system in order to get money to, have to spend. Is this really live? Yes, this is really live, mister. People are concerned. Is this really live? But yeah, so I would say I will basically set up a marketing funnel. I'll set up a sales system. I will create more authentic, raw, engaging content. And I will amplify that content. I will buy ads into my sales funnels. I will kind of just grow my sales, grow my marketing, grow my audience, and take it more from there. So instead of now building someone else's business, I'm gonna build my own business because I've been, sending money. I've been sending traffic to various different, or I've been creating content for various different like affiliate partners, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's like the easiest way to go about if you don't want to create your own digital products at first, if you don't want to figure out demand, none of this. But I feel like now I have a pretty good library of these assets that are generating money passively, and if I cut costs for some time and then I just like set up a funnel, set up, sales system, I will be able to move into that direction more of, creating, driving traffic to my own brand, building out my own business, and then reinvesting those earnings into more traffic, better content. It's like kind of like a flywheel. So I talked about this yesterday when we were on a walk. It was like you sell a digital product to get money. You reinvest that money into making better content and spending money on ads. That in turn generates better engagement, more eyeballs, and then it makes you more money. And then you just start to kind of like snowball and flywheel that. You know what I mean? You have very good quality, nice work. Thank you. I appreciate that. We worked very hard on creating this setup and making sure that everything works well. Yeah, by the way, we forgot to turn off those lights, but whatever. Yeah, so yeah, so that's my big thing for 2026. Personal branding, more digital products, spending more money on ads, growing my email list, and that's going to be the main thing. So instead of building someone else's business and just using my time and energy to create content, I'm going to be spending time, energy, but also money to build my own business. That's going to be the primary thing.
I'm excited to hear more about the product. You have 10 years of knowledge.
Oh yeah, 10 years of knowledge.
So what products you're gonna launch?
What products I'm going to launch?
Of course, you cannot reveal everything, but like give us some tea.
Yeah, what products I'm going to launch. Cool. So, well, I'm working on a course right now. It's going to be a pretty affordable course, and it's going to be affiliate. It's going to be about affiliate marketing. I call it Affiliate Marketing 2.0. The course is going to be called Affiliate Academy, and it's literally just everything that I know about content creation. It's everything I know about working with these companies on an affiliate basis where you're affiliated with these companies, right? How to apply to networks, how to get the links, how to create content, how to monetize, how to pick topics, how to like do all of this, right? So everything that I've learned over the past, whatever, almost 10 years, basically packed into like a nice, clean, comprehensive course. And I just lay it all out there. So yeah, I'm working on it right now. I think it should probably be live in the next month or so. I would say probably 4 weeks or so. So if you're interested, I'm gonna leave a link underneath this this live stream. It's georgevlasiev.com/affiliate. So this is or /academy. The academy, you can just join the wait lists, and the /affiliate, you can get my free starter kit essentially. So there I break down, kind of give you like a teaser about what's to come, and then in the course I go much more deep into the whole strategy and break down everything I do, right? So yeah, I mean the top line revenue is roughly 20 to 30K right now in the business. So we are generating good amount from brand deals, from affiliate commissions, from ad revenue. So it's like a nice split between everything. And it grew pretty fast, because like I remember last year, man, it was September 2024, and we were in Greece, and I remember I had my iPad with me, and I was on a brand deal call with this company called OnePage.io, and they were like, "Yeah, we want you to make a video for us and we will pay you 1,000 euros. And I was just like, this is the best fucking thing ever, you know? It's like, I'm in Greece, I'm on my iPad, digital nomad lifestyle, and this company is offering me 1,000 euros to make one video for them. Uh, and I was like, all right, I can really scale this thing. And we did, like, I really did scale this thing, and we worked now with a lot of brands in this year 2025, like big huge companies, you know. um, Klaviyo, Zendesk, Software. I mean, you can check out my channel. I work with a lot of these companies. A lot, like most of these videos are just sponsored videos, you know. So yeah, that's that. And but like I said, moving. So that's gonna be the course that I'm building now about that. And you know, with this thing alone, we're at like 30K, sometimes more in top line revenue. And if you keep your costs low, you can take home a lot. So that's gonna be the first thing. And then we'll see from there. We'll see. We'll be launching. Maybe I'll do. We did coaching with my business partner back then, Ron. We had a coaching business. We learned a lot about the coaching business. So now I'm very careful about coaching businesses. Like I don't wanna, you know, take on too much. I'm very careful basically now with my time and how much time I'm willing to dedicate to someone in exchange for kind of how much they pay, you know, because I am working with like more B2B companies now. And, you know, we get paid like 5K for a video, right? We deliver one video in like 3 weeks or something, and then, you know, we're pretty much done. So if I will be launching some kind of like a high ticket coaching program, kind of helping people implement, you know, content creation, personal branding, creating digital products, then I want to make sure that that's worth my time. So I'll need to think more deeply about that. But yeah, more exciting things on the way happening for sure. All right. Anything else?
Do you have anything in the chat?
Um, no.
Questions?
I mean, Craig said something about like politics that you can't, yeah, something about politics, but I don't mess with politics, man.
All right. Lifestyle question.
Lifestyle question. Let's go.
What are things you don't have to worry about anymore when you have like when you make some like start making money?
Yeah.
How does your life change? Can you like eat out every day?
Yeah.
Can you travel wherever you want? Like
Yeah.
yeah.
So basically the question is, how does your lifestyle change when you start to make your first money? I don't really look at like prices of food. When we like go to the grocery store, I don't look really at prices. I just get whatever I want, you know? And then I'm just like, oh, I want this, I want this. So I don't look at like, I don't think about prices of food. Sometimes I do when it's like some very exclusive thing, like, you know, I'm getting, if it's like something stupid, you know, if it's like something very small, stupid, and it's like ridiculously expensive, then I'll be like, okay, is this really worth it? Then I'm like, nah, whatever. But otherwise than that, I mean, we just opt in for the best stuff, you know. If it's organic, okay, let's get organic. If it's, you know, this, let's get that. It's just like, whatever. That doesn't really make any difference. I eat out anytime I want. I can eat out once a week. I can eat out every day if I want. I can eat out 2 times a day. It really doesn't matter. I mean, you get to a point where it's like you don't want to eat out all the time because oftentimes food cooked at home is better and it's like nicer than it just like going out all the time. So it might sound nice to eat out all the time everywhere, but you get pretty fed up with it like easily, you know. Of course, it's nice to go out occasionally and have like a nice pizza, you know, from a good oven with a nice Coke, you know, and then get a tiramisu after that. That's of course very nice. We have some very nice places here in Helsinki. Or have a nice burger. By the way, today is burger day. We're gonna have burgers today. Burgers, we have okay, oh my God, you guys. We have an amazing burger place next to our home. If you ever come visit me, we're definitely like I take everybody who visits me. We go there. It is the best burgers you've ever had in your life. Period, and the best fries as well. So yeah, we're gonna have burgers today, and then we're gonna do that. But yeah, I mean, lifestyle changes. Uh, it's more about like, I don't have to report to anyone, right? I don't have a boss. I don't ask for vacations. I don't, what else? I just decide, like, we had a partner email us and be like, hey, are you coming to Creator Fest in London in end of October? And I was like, let me check that real quick. So then I go ahead and I check the fest, and then I'm like, yo, let's do it, right? So like on the spot, within like 15 minutes, we book tickets to the fest, we get hotel, we get flights, and then I reply, I'm like, yeah, we're going to the fest as well, right? So it's kind of this more flexibility. You decide what you do. And we live more in terms of like seasons. So for example, okay, November is going to be cold and it's going to be rainy, and we want to, go scuba diving. Okay, cool. So then we just go scuba diving to Egypt, right? Maybe in winter in Spain, we are fed up with the darkness and we want to go to south of Spain, right? And spend 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever it is, we can go ahead and do that. Like, I have a real estate guy in Spain and he can find us a nice place. We can rent it, we can fly there. It's just more just like I'm chasing freedom. Talking about motivations, right? I love freedom. So yeah, but we choose right now to like stay in one place, because of the studio, because of the setup, because of the work, because yeah, that's what it takes. Like you have to have this routine day in, day out in order to um, get good at what you're doing, right? If I would be just on the go traveling all the time, I wouldn't have fast internet. Um, I wouldn't have my setup properly set up. I wouldn't have this like nice background behind me. It takes time to set this up. You can see those nice lights in the bookshelves, right? Well, in order to set that up, what I had to do is I had to go ahead in IKEA, buy individual light bulbs, buy those extension things, right, where you put them in, and then I drilled like not a drill, but like I cut a hole behind the books there, right? And then I put it through, and then that goes all the way down there to the socket there. So that's a whole setup, right? You wouldn't be able to set something like that up. So yeah, let me just turn on the AC because it's getting really hot. So yeah, you just optimize everything for how you want it. I mean, like we've been in Monaco this summer, and we were talking to this one girl who basically in Hotel de Paris, she is the VIP clients manager, something like this, and she essentially manages, like she takes care of the billionaires who come to Monaco and who stay at the Hotel de Paris. And I was like, okay, so what is different about these people? Like, how do they act? Like, how are they? Well, she said, yeah, they like to have the same things wherever they go, right? So if some billionaire family is coming to stay at the Hotel de Paris, they want to make sure that when they go into the room, that they have these like specific little things, like, okay, she wants to have a bottle of water next to her bed, right? This specific one. Or they want to have like this line of creams in the bathroom, that they always use before bed, right? They don't want to like travel with it, but they want to make sure that wherever they go, they have the same things as they use in their everyday life. So you start to become a little bit like kind of OCD or like obsessive about like these things. Um, yeah, and another thing, by the way, is interesting, is sometimes we will opt in for a more expensive flight ticket just to make sure that we don't fly at an inconvenient time. Because a lot of the times I remember when I was like, I didn't have any money, I would not care about, what time the flight is. I would just opt in more for like the cheapest flight. Now it's more like, okay, this is like a few hundred more expensive, but we will fly like during the day. We'll have basically like a whole travel day, and we'll be able to wake up, have our brekkie and the chill mode and whatever. So let's opt in for that, you know? So yeah, you just start to do more things that you want to do out of comfort, you know? That's, I would say, how money is really affecting that. So yeah, next question. I enjoyed this live stream. I don't know if we have anyone uh, in our uh, in our live stream. Let me just really quickly check that. But it is fun nevertheless. Ha! It says, welcome to our live show. Okay, we didn't give it a title, but whatever. How can we change the title, by the way? I don't know. Where can I change the title for this thing? Let's see. General, design, brand. I don't know where to change. Oh, we have 3 people. 5 people. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. I have my chat pulled up here as well, so I'll be answering if you have anything. And otherwise, my beautiful girlfriend is sitting behind the camera, behind you guys, and she's asking me questions. So let's continue. I enjoy this live stream so far.
All right. Let's start rating things. So I'll drop a word and you rate it from 1 to 10, and then you tell me why.
Okay, let's rate things. She's gonna be telling me words and I'll be rating them. Cool, let's do it.
First, USA as a business destination or like business country.
USA, well, of course. You know, US is the biggest economy in the world, right? We love America. No, but seriously, I mean, if you want to do business, America is non-negotiable, 100%. I was there last winter. I don't remember. I think it was last winter. Yeah, last January 2025, this year. I was in Las Vegas. I went for the AWS Affiliate West Summit. Man, that was a crazy experience. I wish I could have experienced more of Vegas. Like, I wish I could have went to a show and, you know, hanged out more, went maybe around, but I just got super sick and I couldn't do anything. Anything I tasted bad. Maybe it was because of the sickness, maybe it is because of the food. But everything is very big, that's for sure. Like, the halls are big, like everything is, like, you take Europe, you dial it by like, and that's like US in my kind of eyes. Everything is just much bigger, you know. Cup sizes are bigger, food portion size are bigger, right? So that's US for you. But Americans know how to do business. They're very competitive, right? They're very good at making money. They're very good at doing business. So if you want to compete on a global scale, you have to know how to work with Americans. A lot of my companies, a lot of my partners whom I work with, they're from the US. Like, every week when I do calls, it's like, oh, where you from? Oh, I'm from this state, this state, this state. So yeah, you have to be comfortable. You have to be work with them for sure. US is the largest economy. I mean, yeah, sure, you can do business with Chinese, but I don't know. I had one call with a Chinese lady the other day, and it was very hard, man. It was very hard. First, it didn't pay so much, and second of all, it was very hard to like close the deal because they're not really good at English. Or, well, she was not good at English, the one I was speaking to, and it was hard. Like, I had to give it all in order to get that deal, but whatever. We got the deal. It's fine. So yeah, no, US is a business destination for sure.
What's your rating?
My rating, well, 10 out of 10. Of course, 10 out of 10. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if I will live in America because listen, I have never really like lived there. I have never properly experienced it. Like, I mean, I was as a kid in Miami, right? A couple of times with like my family, you know, that's one thing. And then I was in Vegas now as a grown up. So I really haven't seen much. I haven't been to any other states. So yeah, that's something on the bucket list for sure in the near future, to explore more of US, travel around, understand people more, understand the culture more, and experience it from the inside for sure. Yeah.
All right, next. Rate 1 to 10. Work-life balance.
Work-life balance. Yeah, I think it's total bullshit. Work-life balance because if you have to take a vacation from your work, you should not come back. I really like that saying. So you shouldn't, in my opinion, you shouldn't like have this division between, oh, okay, I'm off from work, on a Friday night, TGIF, fucking thank God it's Friday, right? You close your laptop, you don't open it for the whole weekend, and it's like you don't think about it. If that's the case and you really don't like your job, you should really change jobs. Like you should really change what you're doing because I feel like you have, it's as cliche as it sounds, but you really have to like what you're doing, right? I'm not gonna use the word passion, I'm not gonna use the word love, but like you have to really like what you're doing. Obviously not everyone is gonna like their job, but that's again part of like human life and competition, right? Obviously if you're working in McDonald's, most likely you don't like your job, but anyone can pull themselves out. Um, it just really depends on each person's determination to succeed in life. Um, but I mean, for the rest of us, I think liking what you do is very important because I think burnout, I heard it somewhere, is like burnout is doing the thing or having to do the thing that you really don't like to do. I really, although my work is very challenging, like content creation, um, you know, getting kind of building in public and seeing, yeah, it's just it's hard, right? It's a very competitive field, very transparent field. Like every time, my friends call me and they're like, I can sense that they're talking to me, but they're checking out my channel. Okay, how many subscribers does he have? How is your videos performing? So it's like a very different this like environment, very different feel. But yeah, what was the question again?
Rate from 1 to 10.
Oh,
Work-life
rates 1 to
balance.
10. Yeah, no, bullshit. I mean, if you just get tired sometimes and you need to take a break, just take a break. But like, what the fuck is work-life balance? It's just like 9 to 5 fucking bullshit that they made up. Like you work the whole week and then you close your laptop, you put it away and you don't open it until Monday morning. Fuck that shit. If that's the case, then it's like, no. I work all the time. I go to bed, I think about work. I wake up, think about work. I have sex, I think about work. It's just like I think about work all the time. So because I'm just hungry for success, I really want to be great, right? So yeah, my rating for work-life balance is negative, man. Bullshit. If you need work-life balance, change jobs, change your career paths.
Rate from 1 to 10. Using ChatGPT all the time.
Fuck yeah.
No thinking yourself?
Well, no thinking, of course. You got to think like, but you have to think, right? ChatGPT is great, right? It's like having 1,000 PhDs in your pocket. Like the other day, right? We were going to Pilates class. So let me tell you a story, right? The other day we are going to a Pilates class, and we're now planning our trip to Egypt for the scuba diving in November, and then the flights back from Egypt back to Helsinki were quite shit, right? They were like during the nights. You have to fly at like 2 a.m. to Turkey, layover, yada yada yada. So we were like, all right, well, how about we go to a different country? We sleep the night in a hotel during a normal time, and then the next morning we fly back to Helsinki. So then my girlfriend Helena was like, all right, cool. When I get back home, I will do the research. And I was like, what do you mean you'll do the research? Watch this. I pull out my phone, I click agent mode in ChatGPT, and I'm like, yo, research me, and then I just gave it this like long ass prompt. I was like talking for 5 minutes, push it. It worked for 15 minutes, man, in agent mode, doing like research. It gave me 3 options to fly at normal time. I gave it the times that I want. All of this, it's like, okay, you can fly to Rome, you can fly to Frankfurt, you can fly to Paris. From there, you can sleep in a hotel. There are flights the next day. So it's amazing. Uh, I think if you don't use AI, or if you don't use ChatGPT like all the time, you're actually behind, right? It's not a substitute for not thinking, right? It's not a substitute for not thinking. You can't just blindly say, this and just whatever. It's like you need to use it. For example, writer's block, right? If you want to write something, but then you can't, because I always had that thing, right? I always dreaded that white page in doc where like I didn't have anything, and then I would have to write an essay, and I'd be like, where do I even start? But now it's like, all right, write me the intro, write me the first paragraph, or give me bullet points, or give me whatever, right? Just to give you some kind of like a starting point as well. Um, so that's that. It can also like do fantastic business plans. It can give you sketches for thumbnails. It can give you so many things, right? It's up to you and your creativity of how you use it. So, of course, you have to use your own brain. Right? You have to use your own brain. But if you don't use like AI all the time, like learning about it, how to best use a different case, like different use cases, all of this, like you're behind, man. Every like is gonna be more AI. It's not gonna be less AI. It's gonna be more. There'll probably emerge some trends of like, social interactions without phones, right? That's a thing that we're also seeing. Oh, in this cafe, there's no Wi-Fi. You cannot use your phone there. Like talk, interact, like learn how to do that again. Sure, but work-wise and everything, it's gonna be AI is not gonna be less. It's gonna be more. So you better learn how to use it. 10 out of 10. Okay, 9, 8, 9, 9, and then 1 is to use your own brain. 2, 8 and 80 20, 80 20. 20% use your own brain and 80% use AI. That's what I think.
Rate from 1 to 10. Modern Tinder dating culture.
Modern Tinder dating culture. We were watching the other day Mystery, the guy who wrote the Mystery Method, and he was talking about how like Tinder is just this like swiping game left and right, and that is all bunch of crap. You get like these dopamine hits and whatever. Well, funny enough, my girlfriend and I, we met through a dating app. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. If you are a busy guy, you don't want to make time for going out. Like I didn't like to necessarily go out and like to clubs or to whatever. Although that's probably a good thing to do, but I was trying to solve for a different thing. So I would rather have like kind of arranged meetings, like more targeted. Okay, I'm gonna meet with this person at this time. Um, but yeah. Um, I have a pretty funny story that I don't think I should tell during a live stream. My girlfriend is like, no, 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 don't tell that story. But yeah, I think overall it's fine. But I feel like a lot of the times people just they swipe, they get matches, but they don't actually do anything with that. They just yeah, they just get the dopamine hits from the likes, from the matches, and then they don't take it anywhere else. If you can't do it yourself, hire someone else to help you with it. If you can't talk to a girl online because you don't know what to say, go to Upwork.com, search for dating assistants, and hire a dating assistant to kind of schedule you dates. Think about that. And then they know all the opening lines. They know like how to talk to girls. And if you're better at talking to them in person, great. Give him access to your account. He's gonna swipe. He's gonna match. He's gonna appoint set you. So he's gonna do the dates for you essentially, and then just take it away from there. And then hey, what do you think? This girl, would you want to meet her? She's available on the weekend. Okay, cool. That's it. And then just go meet her in real life. Find solutions to your problems.
What if I'm awkward socially and I don't want to talk to girls?
What if you're awkward socially and you don't want to talk to girls? Yeah, then you're fucked. I don't know. Find a quiet, awkward girl as well or something. I like the saying that, the world is cruel to overly shy men. I really like that saying. So, Warren Buffett said that his best investment was into a public speaking course from Dale Carnegie, into learning how to speak in front of people, how to speak to people. So, yeah, if you're shy, if you don't know how to talk to people, take a course, like teach yourself how to do it. Don't be a prisoner, or don't be, what's the word I'm trying to say here? Helpless. Don't be a victim saying, "Oh, I'm not good at talking to people," or "I'm not good at math." You can teach yourself anything. Like, I don't know, people forget about the fact that you can literally teach yourself anything. You can wake up and you can decide that today I want to learn accounting. Great. Ask ChatGPT, buy a course on Udemy, like whatever. Learn accounting, memorize it, write it down, read about it, understand it. You can learn it. You can learn public speaking, and the way you learn is through practice. So you need to practice, 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 and the more you practice something, the better you get at it. So if you're not good at talking to girls, right, go speak to more girls. If you're not good at talking to people in general, go speak to more people. That's, I think, my advice. Just do more of what you're not good at, but that's the thing that you want to be good at, right? For example, I'm not good at editing, and I don't necessarily care about getting good at editing, right? This is not my thing. So I just have a team, right, of people who edit my videos. They're good at what they do, and I'm not. And I'm not trying to get better at it, so I don't practice it. But I want to get better on talking on camera. I want to get better with engaging with the audience. That's what I do. So same thing applies to everything. You can teach yourself anything. All right, we got 9 people, damn, in this live stream. That's crazy. If you guys have any questions, by the way, welcome, people who are new to this thing. We are talking about how to make money online. The 12 people. The name of the stream, we should talk more about girls. People want to hear more about dating and girls. people are voting. No, there's no questions. But if you guys want to, let me know what you want to hear, what you want to talk about. We talk about how to make money online business. We talk about dating. We talk about, lifestyle, bad habits, good habits, anything. Drop your questions in the chat. We're live. We're streaming this Saturday morning. Let me know when where you guys are tuning in from, and let us know. But yeah, next question, my director, please.
Rate from 1 to 10, selling digital products.
Selling digital products 1 to 10 is a 10, 100%. High profit margins, easy deliverability, everything ticks off. The only hard thing with digital products is that you actually need to deliver them. So that comes in with refunds, that comes in with customer support, that comes in with also another thing is creating a digital product does not guarantee that the market is going to want to buy it. That's another thing, right? So if you right now create a product, how to weave baskets underwater or something, right? Well, the market is super small for that. Maybe it's not even existent. It's so specific, right? Or maybe you make a product, how to make money online. Well, that's too broad. No one's going to buy that as well. So learning how to make products that kind of tap into existing demand is hard. So that's why I say affiliate marketing is easier for monetization, because you're piggybacking off success of existing companies who spends a lot of money, who first of all proven demand, who have invested millions of dollars into marketing, so they have already brand recognition, they're trusted in the market, right? So you're piggybacking on that success. That's why it's easier. Digital products is like the next level up, where you need to understand what does the market want, how to create it, how to validate your idea, like is it actually going to sell or not, and then again market it and all of this, right? So affiliate marketing is easier for beginners to monetize traffic. Digital products, but you don't build a list. Digital products are harder, but you build a list and you build your own business. So I would say start with affiliate marketing and then move into digital products once you already have much better idea of what you're doing. Yeah.
What about e-commerce?
E-commerce is so hard, man. E-commerce is like the hardest business model online you can do, really. I mean, if you think dropshipping is easy, I challenge you. Go ahead, do it. Start an e-commerce business. I did e-commerce for 5 years. I've learned a lot, right? It was an amazing learning experience, but it is the hardest thing, the hardest business model out there. Why? Because you need to, I don't even know where to start. There's so many things that I don't even know where to start, why it's the hardest thing. But it's like, you have to buy traffic, right? Traffic is expensive. You need to get your LTVs right. You need to build a site. You need to have email marketing. You need to have fulfillment. You need to have creatives. You need to have refunds, delivery, da 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 da. It's all this like gazillion things, right? And what I've learned from doing e-commerce, from doing drop shipping, is the way you want to go about e-commerce is like this. First, you start with an idea. Okay, say you have an idea that's, you have a hypothesis, okay? People don't want to pay $100 per month for shaving, right? Their face, men, and paying Gillette like for all these vibrating, razors. Who the fuck needs that, right? Why are we being charged more for a vibrating fucking razor, right? Do we really need that? So you have a hypothesis. So then the second thing is you gotta kind of test your hypothesis and you need to see if that hypothesis is right. So you do it like an MVP, you throw up a page, maybe you do some 3D renders and then you try to buy traffic and you see, basically you test the market and see if people vote that this is something that they're willing to pay for, right? Are they willing to pay for that? If the market votes that they're willing to pay for that, great, you have validation. You need to validate your ideas. Then you can take your idea to investors and say, hey, I have a hypothesis. I tested it and the market voted that they want to have razors, a subscription razor per month at a, quarter of a price of what Gillette charges. And they're good. And, we're going to have this business model. It's a recurring, payments, yada, yada, yada. Okay, Nora has joined the chat and she's saying, good morning. I have no idea who you are, what you're talking about. Could anyone give me a short introduction, please? I will give you a short introduction, Nora, just in a second. Let me finish my thought about the razor, the shaving thing, right? So then you say, okay, this idea, it's validated and people are willing, the market is willing to pay for it. Then you do the following steps. You package your idea into a business plan. You go out to investors, to VC or whatever, and you say, okay, this is the business idea. This is why people are willing to pay for it. I need this amount of money. Be specific about how much money you want. Ask for more rather than for less, because getting more money is easier than getting less money. And get money. Step number one. Validate idea, get money. Validate idea, get money. Then, once you validate idea and you have money, then you assemble a team. You need to have page builders who will build a site for you. You need to have a paid ads team, so paid media team, people who are going to buy ads. You need to have email marketing team. You need to have a support team, right? So you need to get key people for all the different departments, because there's a lot of departments in e-commerce, and that's what makes it hard. And you cannot do it all yourself. You need to be more like a director, like a orchestra man, right? What's it called? The person who's like directing the whole orchestra. That needs to be you. You put key people in key positions, and then you execute, right? Then you say, okay, we have the money, we have the team, we can run this thing for 12 months, and that's how much money we have to basically capture market share, right? After 12 months, we need to be able to keep sustaining our business with just, cash flow coming in from the business. And yeah, then you just start buying ads, you start growing, you start doing sales, you start to tweak things, right? Start split testing your creatives, start split testing your pages, start to get repeat customer rate up. That's very important. So, okay, our customer rate, repeat customer rate is 50%. That's amazing. Our LTV is, $50. That's amazing. Our CAC is this, da 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 da. Then you just start to calculate numbers. So, yeah, that's how I would go about e-commerce. So it's very different from how people pitch it online. It's not about finding a winning product, running some shitty ads to it, and then scaling it from there. It's not like that. It's like, if you got to do it, you got to do it seriously, right? All right, Nora, I don't know if you're still with us or not, but for those of you who don't know and just joining in, so essentially, my name is George. I am a content creator. I make content for a living. That's what I do. I'm into online business. I'm into making money online. I've been doing that for a very long time. And yeah, I do these live streams to interact, engage, answer any of your questions if you're interested in making money online or whatever. And yeah, that's what we do. Do we have any more questions?
We always have more questions.
All right, let's keep going. We're going to keep going. Let's see if I still don't understand how to change the, or maybe find someone who can handle all of that, like a jack of all trades, and cut down on expenses. Also, I don't recommend wasting a lot of money when it's a startup. Yeah, I don't think you want to work with like a jack of all trades. A person who is good at everything is not good at anything. So you want to put key people in key positions. That's for sure. Because if you give one person everything, they're gonna fuck up everything eventually. You gotta separate it. You gotta have, each person needs to be good at one thing. That's why we have it's kind of this debate about specialization versus, generalization. You want to have specialists, right? If you're gonna be going to get, surgery, you don't want a guy who, is a medical doctor. He does this and he does that, and he does also a little bit of surgery. So you're going to go and operate with him. No, if you're going to go get a surgery, you want to get a guy who does that specific surgery for the past 30 years, and he's done thousands of surgeries, and that's what he's good at. So the same thing here. You don't want to work with a person who does a little bit of email marketing, a little bit of paid media, a little bit of customer support. Fuck that shit. You want to work with a person who is like, I do paid media all day, every day. All I think about is paid media. I go to bed, paid media. I have sex, paid media. I wake up, paid media, paid, right? You want that guy to do your paid media. Then you have like email marketing. Okay, same thing here. He's like, email marketing is all he thinks about, right? Like that. And that's hard. And that's what I'm saying. E-commerce is so hard because getting money into a business is hard, right? If you just have a validated idea. Attracting key players who are like obsessed into a startup is hard, right? You need to sell these people like a vision. So that's when we start to get into this more idea of like, how to get talent to come to work for you. And it's like the top people, what I've learned, they're not just about the money. The startup needs to make more sense for them. They need to, of course, have some kind of like a compensation. I forgot the word, where they can have a share of the business, like once you sell out, for example. But it also needs to be something a little bit bigger vision than just pure money. So yeah, that's what I think it is. If you guys have any questions, by the way, drop them in the chat as well. We got 4 people tuning in. I don't know how to change the name of the chat. Hello, everybody who's joining. Ask your questions, make money online. But yeah, if you have any questions, Helena, please.
Well, let's talk more about hiring.
Okay, let's
take a scenario.
Let's take hiring.
Yeah, and I'm just starting out. I started my online business. I've been doing everything myself, and now I feel like it's too much. I want to hire my first person. I have no idea what to do. Like I've never hired
Okay.
anyone. Give me like step by step what to do.
Okay.
First person hire.
Okay. First
Where
person
do I
hire.
find them? Who? What kind of things do I
Yeah.
evaluate?
So if you're growing, right, it's a good problem to have. If you're growing and you're overwhelmed, you're maybe a one man band, and you want to get help essentially, right? You want to hire people to do something for you. Um, Upwork.com. That's where you want to be. You want to be on Upwork.com, and you want to hire people there. Well, that's kind of the make money online field. The the online business field is you wanna go to Upwork.com. That's like the best platform that I found, and you wanna make a job post. You wanna register there. You wanna make a job post and be very specific about what you're looking for, right? If you're looking for a video editor, then say exactly what kind of video editor you're doing. What is the expectations? What's the deliverables? Yada yada yada. About the rates, it really depends. Like if you have an idea for how much you want to spend or how much you want to pay the person, you can just go ahead and list it right away. That makes the whole hiring process a lot easier. But I found that a lot of the times it's really hard to just have like a rate. If you have experience, for example, working with video editors, then you're gonna have like a rate that is a fair rate and that you can handle, you can manage. But oftentimes, like, you don't know how much to pay the person, right? You don't know the market rates, etc. So I would recommend setting up a call with the person that whom you're looking to hire, and you ask them, like, okay, how much do you want to make? You know, they say, I don't know, how much are you willing to pay? And then you take it back to them and you say, no, tell me, how much do you want to make, right? Um, you want to let them kind of tell you how much they want to make, what are they looking for, and then you can start a negotiation from there. Um, my advice is to not try to, like, basically, ideally, what you want to do is you want to be in a position where you say how much you want to make. They say X, and you say, okay, I will pay you X, but like, you have to, you have to deliver. You have to overcome, like, you need to over deliver, basically. That's kind of, because people are going to ask for more than what they hope for, right? So give them what they want, ideally, and then they need to prove themselves that they're worth that price. If someone is asking for, this, then you just give it to them, and then you say, okay, now show me what you got. That's ideally how you want to work with people. Other than that, how I found hiring is you jump on a call, you say how much you want to make, you know, maybe they propose a rate, maybe you propose a rate, try to find some middle ground. Don't try to like squeeze, them, because people are not going to be motivated to work with you if you just like squeeze too much out of them. But it's also a good idea to understand some kind of a market rate. Another thing is, by the way, if you're doing everything yourself, you probably know how much time it takes you to do the thing, So then you can think like, okay, well, editing, for example, takes quite a bit of time for me, so it's probably going to take them quite a bit of time, and I want to make sure that they can eat, they can pay their bills, that they have food on the table. And yeah, for example, I work with a lot of people from overseas, from like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, right? Because the standard of living there is lower than in Europe or in the US, right? So, and there's a lot of talented people there, so they can produce like good stuff at a much lower rates than what people demand in Europe, for example, or in the US. Um, and that's also a good hack to keep your costs low and to produce stuff. A lot of these like top guys, Iman, Alex Hermosi, whatever, Ali Abdal, they all have overseas talents. Really, a lot of them work with with people from lower income countries, essentially. So yeah. All right. That's my answer. Upwork.com. How to hire a person. Yeah.
Is there anything in the chat?
No, there's nothing in the chat.
I have always questions.
Yes, please go ahead.
All right. I have a dream of becoming an entrepreneur, but I'm in a 9 to 5 job.
Okay.
I don't know what to do. I'm kind of like,
You have a dream of becoming an entrepreneur, but you're in a 9 to 5 job.
and I have
Why do
bills
you
to
have
pay.
why do you have the dream of becoming an entrepreneur in the first place?
I want to be free, and I think I know how to do things better than my boss.
First, read the E-Myth Revisited. If you think that you can do the job better than your boss and you want to start your own, if you're a mechanic and you're working in a mechanic shop, right? And your boss doesn't know how to repair a car, but you're the best at repairing the cars, order the book E-Myth Revisited and read it first, okay? There are 3 roles. There is the technician, there is the, I can't remember, manager, and then there is the business owner or something. Let me just ask ChatGPT right now. Hey, in the E-Myth Revisited, there were 3 roles that he was talking about. What were the 3 roles? But yeah, if you have a 9 to 5 job and you want to become an entrepreneur, first understand that building and running a business is not the same as having a job. Okay, very important to understand. When you have a job, you're performing one specific thing, and of course, you're going to be really good at that specific thing. But running a business is a skill of itself that you need to teach yourself from the ground up, because you're not just doing accounting, you're not just doing marketing, you're not just doing sales. At first, you're going to be doing everything yourself. And that's what makes it super hard. You need to be, juggling all these, like a lot of these balls, right? So for example, one day you might wake up and, your accountant is going to be calling you and she's like, hey, you didn't fill out this paper. You need to fill out these papers. You got to send them in properly. So then you're going to spend like half of the day figuring out how to fill out some papers and submit them. And guess what? That's half a day gone. And those half a days that you're doing that, you're not doing anything else, right? You're not marketing, you're not selling, you're not doing any of that. Maybe you're like learning how to build a website, then you're not doing everything else. Maybe you're launching. So being an entrepreneur, being a business owner is very different from being like a 9 to 5 employee, like if you have a job. And the way I say to go about that is to not burn the bridges, right? Not quit your job and just start, your own business, because that is recipe for depression, anxiety. That's a recipe for like a lot of mental anguish, right? A lot of mental strain, essentially. Instead, you want to start something on the side. And ideally, this is how you want to do it. Try to lower the hours that you're committed to your work. For example, if you're working 40 hours, try to do 20 hours, right? Do twice as less work, but make sure that you have a steady income coming in every month, because to pay for your bills, to give you food. And so but obviously you're going to take a hit on your pay, but that's fine. Because as long as you can just pay the bills and pay the food, that's enough. And then with the rest of the time that you now have freed up, that's when you should use that time to learn how to start a business and grow a business, right? To learn some kind of valuable skill. So yeah, I would say go to your boss, negotiate less amount of time that you're committing. And if he says no, find a job where you can, right? If you're working right now 40 hours a week, you don't have any time to commit to anything else. If you work 8 hours a day, you commute back and forth to your work, like an hour, for example, right? And then you sleep for 8 hours, that's already 17 hours. And then you have 5 hours left in a day that you need to brush your teeth, clean your clothes, cook food, yada, yada. That's it, you have no more time. So it first starts by freeing up your time, but having some money come in. So either go talk to your boss and ask him for less hours, or quit that job, go find a job where you can work less, get a pay to be able to sustain yourself, right? Pay for bills, get food, pay for shelter. And with the new available hours, invest those hours into now, starting something, learning a skill, right? Starting a YouTube channel, learning how to create content, for example. That's what I would advise anyone to do, right? Just like start to get equipment, right? Buy a camera, start to using your phone, start to create content, learn that. And then from there on, start to it will be a slow process, by the way. So be ready to, for a few years, you won't be able to build up an income where you can fully quit your job, right? Maybe even more. So you need to start, the earlier you start, the better. Learn, accumulate, build income where you feel comfortable enough to quit your job all the way and then go all in on the entrepreneurship thing. But there's the danger about the 9 to 5 job is that it's addictive. A paycheck is addictive. It's they call it the salary slave. You get used to having a paycheck come in, and you trade your freedom for this kind of no risk security type thing, right? Because when you're working for someone else, you don't take the risk of the bankruptcy of liability, right? You get a steady paycheck coming in, but you also don't have any upside and you don't have any freedom, right? So it's all trade-offs, right? When you're an entrepreneur, you're taking on all the risk. You you live in a constant state of is this gonna work out or not? And yeah, and then the upside is not guaranteed. So there's some questions here. Can you give me some sales tips for closing a deal on a project with a new client? Sabir, you should not be closing a new client. You should be working more with me. That's first and foremost. But if we are talking about tips on closing deals with new clients, dude, just show your work. Show what you're good at. You need to just sell yourself. I mean, you need to see yourself valuable, and then you need to say all right, this is why I'm valuable, and this is how I can help you. Don't. The most important tip: don't talk from the perspective of what you want. Always talk from the perspective of what the other person wants and what they will get if they hire you. That's the single most important. And that applies to all the interactions with socially, right? With Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, right? That's why it's such a foundational book. Just talk from the perspective of the other person. That's the single most important thing. What do you, when I do these sales calls with these brands, right? I always start off by asking, all right, how can we make more money together? That's my first question. And the second question, depending on the person, depending on the vibe, I say, so tell me, what are your marketing goals? Because I really want to know, what are they trying to achieve? Well, often the times they're yeah, we just want to grow and we want paid signups. I'm all right, this is how I can drive you paid signups, and this is how my marketing strategy fits into your goals. Do you drive leads from YouTube? Is YouTube a good marketing channel for you? No? Okay, let me explain. Your ICPs are on YouTube. Your ICPs are searching for solutions to their problems. YouTube is the second largest search engine. They search for it. We can tap into that. We can rank in SERPs, yada, 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 right? This whole kind of spiel that just comes naturally. And then they're and then you show proof. By the way, showing proof is very important. That's very important, right? So in my case is, for example, if the company wants paid signups, I just show them an example of a past brand deal that I did where the video is generating paid signups, and I share my screen. I literally go in and I'm look, this video generated a few thousand views over 3 months. This is how it translated into revenue. The company made $3,000-$4,000 in revenue. They're oh wow, okay, this is great. Okay, yes, we're interested. So you need to show why for them spending money on you is going to result in a positive ROI, return on investments, right? That's it. There is there's two components. There's money spending and value getting, right? That's when the transaction happens. So they need to feel that the value that they're getting exceeds the price that they're paying. If that happens, it's a no-brainer. Of course, they're gonna spend 5K on a video if they can make 15K back. Why wouldn't they? It's a great investment, especially if it's high quality stuff. All right, Nora is asking, I started my online educational center with just 5 people, 2 teachers, 1 handling marketing design management, 1 for customer support, and 1 admin. It worked well initially, but now with 45 teachers, it's overwhelming. I tried hiring a management team, but I'm still doing most of the work. I can't keep this up alongside my other job managing a pest control company in Cali. My main issues are time management and trusting others to run the business. And I don't want to quit the other job because it's good extra money. My main issues are time management and trusting others to run the business. We were actually talking about this with my girlfriend the other day. It was yesterday. We went for a walk and she was like, yeah, I feel like I have to do all the work myself. I cannot like delegate, right? And by the way, it's a super common thing. Like everybody faces this where it's like this almost like arrogance that you can do a job better than someone else. You know, you're like, you have to be in control, right? All the control freaks out there say, yeah, you know, it's like, I have to control this thing. You know, I can't delegate it because what if the person does a bad job? Then, you know, something's gonna go bad. But you will never be able to grow. If you're doing one thing, it's opportunity cost for you not doing the other thing. And instead of you working in the business, you need to build the business and work on the business. So you need to put people in place, and then you need to overcome your OCD and control thing, and you need to say, all right, we're gonna like delegate, and I'm gonna let go of the control, and then that person is gonna handle a job for me. Guess what? It's not life or death, it's not critical. The first time they do the thing, most likely it's not gonna be exactly how you want it. No problem. You give feedback, you train them. That's where training people comes in until they get it exactly the way you want to get it. Make sense? You will not be able to grow at all if you don't like let go of the control and let other people do the work. And that's why it's super important to hire people who are better than you. Really, like I'm not even kidding. If you listen to How to Get Rich by Felix Dinas, I highly recommend this book. He talks about it. Hire people who are smarter, who are better than you, right? Let's say that, you know, entrusting others to run. Let's say that, you know, you're doing customer support yourself first, right? You're replying to customer support emails. And you're okay, right? You do it yourself. You know exactly how you want to sound. But guess what? There are VA assistants out in the Philippines who've been doing this for like way, like, you know, tens of years, and they know how to do it way better. They have the macros. Yeah, she's like, you got it right with the OCD and control issues. Yeah, it's super common thing. So just like, you have to learn how to get like let go of the control, and you have to just hire people who are better than you, give them the thing, let them do the thing, and then give feedback and train them, right? And then once you do that, they're gonna get better, and then eventually you're gonna grow from there as well.
And make SOPs.
Yeah, make SOPs, standard operating procedures. So whatever procedure that you have, make an SOP. Like that's the way we do things essentially. An SOP stands for this is how we do things around here. So this is how we reply to customer support. This is the tone of voice we use. This is the language we use, right? This is how we write scripts. This is how we edit videos, right? In the first, this fucking chair, man, needs to, I'm gonna put some oil into this thing because it's annoying. But yeah, so that's my advice. Yeah. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. Hello, everybody. If you know how to change the name of the stream, please do let me know, because I've been streaming for the past 1.5 hours and it says, welcome to our live show. That's funny. But yeah, If you have any questions, Helena, if the chat has any questions, please do let me know, and I will do my best to reply.
Yeah, I have one. Explain what are the terms B2B and B2C, and how do you decide which one to use?
B2B versus B2C. Well, that's the way you do business. Do you conduct business to business, B2B, or do you conduct business to customer, B2C? So, business to business is essentially me selling to a company, right? So, I go to Zendesk, I go to Klaviyo, and I'm like, you guys need a video. We're gonna do a video. No questions asked. Klaviyo, we're doing a video. They're like, okay, fine, fine. If you want to do a video, we'll do a video. So that's selling to a business. B2C is selling to a customer, to an individual person, right? So for example, Nora comes to me and she's like, George, I need consulting services, or I need coaching services, or I need you to help me with something, with letting go of the control, with delegating, right? I'm a professional let goer. No, but seriously, so you're selling to an individual person, and there are pros and cons to both. Life is not black and white. There are trade-offs to both. You can charge more selling to a business. Obviously, they have more money. Sometimes the deliverable is easier to a business, from my experience. Selling to consumers is probably more scalable. It just depends on where you find yourself, I feel like, in business, because yeah, it's funny how life works, right? Sometimes you just end up in some place, you end up selling to businesses, or you end up selling to customers. So it's really where you find yourself. Now I have two divisions. For example, I have the B2B division, where I sell to these companies, these video services essentially. But I'm also working on a B2C side of things, where I am selling digital products, educational courses, to individual customers, right? Individual people. So there's two, and then eventually, in the next year or so, I want to fade out the B2B side, most likely, and I want to go all in onto the B2C side, right? So scale that thing, because I want to scale the personal branding and everything. So yeah, that's the difference.
How do you find customers?
How do you find customers? How do you find customers? For what?
For your business, whatever you do. How do you get those customers and businesses?
Go out, find them. Just to find customers, you got to go out and find them. I mean, you can use networks, right? You can use freelance platforms, right? For example, I found my editor Sabir, one of my editors, through Upwork. Nay, Fiverr actually, from Fiverr. So if you are a freelancer who wants to find clients, the easiest thing is just to sign up to a freelance platform like Upwork or Fiverr, and then make a profile, make your service, right? Whenever someone posts a job, you apply to the job, you kind of give your CV, you say why you're the best person for the job. So that's one thing. If you're more in a position where I am, where I also do it through platforms, I apply to affiliate programs, right? I partner up with these companies, and then we reach out to them actively with ideas, proposing for content, right? Because every single company is looking to create video content, right? A lot of them, they don't have content teams in-house. And so, but they still want to have their reputation, their brand thing online. And so that's why they're willing to pay money for content creators like myself to create high quality content about their company, tutorials, whatever, videos, educational material about it. So that's one way. Cold calling, cold emailing, right? I get emails all the time from people saying, hey, I'm a graphic designer. Hey, I'm a video editor. This is what I do. So go out and find clients, essentially, yeah. Sabira saying, You're always my top priority. Honestly, working with your team gives me extra joy. That's very nice, Sabir. Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel a great bond with you, Alex, Milan, Ryan, and everyone else. Being part of your high quality videos is truly a pride for me. Thanks. This is very nice to hear. You know, it's funny. A lot of the times, like you're solving for money, but then you get like comments like this with, you know, the people that you work. Like for example, I work with Sabir, right? He really enjoys this, and I kind of push Sabir as well to like, you know, I'm like, come on, like do more work, you know. And then he goes out, he gets like a new laptop or a new computer or a screen like that records in 4K, you know. Or then like, you know, I get comments sometimes. I don't know if I can pull up a comment here, but like sometimes I get comments on my videos like, George, this is a first tier class video. Like this is just insane, right? This is the best tutorial there is out there on motion. If you go to my channel, you will see that I have a motion AI tutorial. I think it's like a 40 or 50-minute video. And it's the best tutorial there is out there on motion. I can say it with confidence. There is no one who has a better tutorial on motion, period. I don't know if I can pull it up here. Riverside wants to enter picture-in-picture so you can use it on top of other tabs and windows. Let me see. Can I show you this screen here? Maybe I can. All right, let's check it out. This is the analytics of the motion video, right? It's a 15-minute tutorial. I think maybe Sabir even worked on this video, and this video is popping, man, right? It's working really well. It's been live for almost 18 days. It's getting 83 views every 48 hours. Traffic is coming from search suggested direct, right? It has really good retention. You can see here. The RPM is strong. The RPM is almost 50 bucks. And if we go to the comments and we go from these ones, look at this comments. I will zoom in. I have been a past user of Motion. I struggled because there were no tutorials like this. Recently, with the release of AI agents, I'm returning. This video is easily the best tutorial on YouTube. Far and away the most comprehensive and deepest, while not getting bogged down. The pacing, the presentation, the production value are all tier 1. Well done. This kinds of comments just motivate, man. These are like the best types of comments you can get, because it's like you wake up, you check it out and you're like, wow, like this is great, you know, like I'm actually being helpful and useful to other people. You know. So yeah, it's these like byproducts. The byproducts of striving for money and success give you more joy than the actual achievement of the thing that you set out to do in the first place. All right, go to management. You should be able to edit the stream name. Go to stream management. I'm not entirely sure, but that's the way other people do it. All right. Yes, I worked on this Motion AI video and also on ClickUp. I've checked all the comments on the videos I edited, and I'm really happy to see such feedback. Yes, Sabir, we're doing great. We will continue making the best tutorials there are out there, for sure. Okay, let me see if I can edit the live stream. Stream settings, public chat, hide watermark, recording, design. No. Oh, maybe I can do it on YouTube. Hold up a second. Maybe I can do it on YouTube. Oh, there we go. Details. All right, guys. Tell me, how should I name, what should I give the title of this show? Of the stream? Should we call it How to Make Money with AI? Then everybody's going to join because everybody wants to learn how to make money with AI. Or should we do Make Money Online Q&A Live? Come ask your questions. Make Money Online Q&A Live. Come ask your questions. Let's see what the chat is saying. Chat's not saying anything. All right, I'm gonna update this. I'm also gonna put my link here to my Affiliate Academy free guide. So I'm gonna save it. Boom. Get your free affiliate marketing guide, or starter kit, should I say. Get your free affiliate marketing starter kit. Boom. All right. That's cool. Let's see how this affects. I want to see how changing the title affects the if people are going to start joining in or not, because I think now I should have changed it. Let me see. Yes, make money online Q&A live. Come ask your questions. Boom. Haha. So let's see. Maybe now the algorithm is like, whoa, let's go. People are going to start clicking more. Something that I've been talking recently about as well is this realization that came to my head about that you should not drive traffic to school.com and WAP, okay? This is, Alex Hormozi invested into school.com with Sam Ovens. Iman Gadji made a whole big thing about investing, or he became an investor in WAP. And they're promoting this thing for beginners where, they have internal traffic on these platforms, right? You start your own community there for beginners, and then you make content, right? You get traffic, and then you send it to school.com/your community name, and then you build out your business there. Now, let me tell you why this is full of, this is just a bunch of crap. Because number one, you don't own the domain school.com or wap.com. That's number one. So you're not building your own business. You're building their business, right? You are investing time, energy, and money into getting traffic, and then you're just wasting that traffic into sending it their way. Nora said, I like the new title, but to be honest, I loved the old one because I had no idea what you'd be talking about, and that curiosity really hooked me. Interesting. Okay, maybe I'll change it to Welcome to Our Live Show. But let's see how this affects in the next 10 minutes or so. But yeah, so you're not building your own business if you're sending traffic to school.com or to WAP. Mimi, come here. I wanna show you to the live stream. Maybe you can get also some clicks. I have a Shiba Inu dog, okay? Very good for making money online. But yeah, so instead, what you want to be doing, especially now with all these AI tools, is you want to be, ta-da, there we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Shiba dog. This is a Shiba Inu coin. Her name is Mimi. How old is she?
10 months.
10 months old. She is a very independent dog who does not listen, and she does things the way she wants to do them. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. All right. There we go. Chicken. Yeah. So don't send traffic to WAP or school. Instead, build your own website, buy your own domain, and build your own business. That's what I'm basically, that's my mantra. That's my message to the world. Do not build a community. Why? You don't own anything, man. You're just building their businesses. You might think that this is your community, but it's not your community. You're just renting real estate on their platform. You're building your own little community. And okay, I understand the argument that it might be easier for beginners to start a community there rather than to build your own site, but it's not true anymore. Go to lovable.dev and say, hey, build me a site, build me a personal brand site, and I want to have a membership area where people can If they buy a product from me, they can, interact and engage, yada yada. You can build out your own little school.com community, but on your own domain. That's that's what I'm doing right now as well. So yeah, do not I highly not suggest, I don't know what's the word for that. I highly recommend not starting your own, not building out their businesses, but rather building out your own business. Building your own list and driving traffic to your own domain. That is very important. All right, if we have any questions in the chat, please drop them. Helena, if you have some questions, we've been going for quite a while now. We've been going for quite a while. I don't know how long we've been going for, but we've been going for 2 hours.
Yeah, we've been covering a lot. I can always continue.
Yeah, if you have, let's do a few more questions and then we'll round up.
All right. Well, first thing, you talk online business. How important is to still read books?
Okay, how important it is to read books
in order to make money online?
In order to make money online. Okay, I think reading books is super important. By the way, let's change back the title to Welcome to the Live Show, because it feels like now we have less people watching, not more. So maybe Nora has a point there about that. Welcome to the live show. Was it that? Welcome to the live show. Or maybe, wow, whatever. We'll just keep it as it is. Okay, so how important is reading books if you want to make money online? I love reading books. I think reading books is generally very important no matter what you want to do in life, especially if you want to make money online. Because here's the thing, there's a lot to learn. Okay, there's a lot to learn, and you only learn through trial and error. Now, you don't always have to learn with your own trial and error. You can read about someone else's life and what they have done, all the mistakes and errors they have done, and then you can try and avoid them. You know what I mean? That's so straightforward. Because you basically get through reading. All right, Nora, talk to you later. Thank you for joining the chat. Thank you for joining the stream. But essentially, through reading, you get to live a life of another person, and you get to digest and download all of their learnings. So it's like the ultimate hack. It's like you don't just live one life, but you get to live hundreds of more lives. You can live the life of Rockefeller and go through the ups and downs of what he has, how he's built his business, everything he has experienced. And then you can be all right, avoid mistakes to avoid. You can read Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger. You can read all these different people, and you can learn from them, and you can avoid. If Charlie Munger says, he's seen people who didn't care about their reputation, they were just chasing money, and he said the reputation is the most important thing, I'm gonna take that advice to heart, right? I'm gonna make sure that the things I do don't ruin my reputation, because I want to make sure that my reputation stays intact and that everything I do aligns with that. I'm a diligent, conscientious person who, who does what he says he's gonna do, and all these things. Yeah, so reading is very important because you get to learn from other people, you get to live the lives of other people, and that helps you skip levels. You can't really skip levels, you still need to do every level yourself, but you can just go through each level much faster. So that's what it is. So yeah. Okay, let me change this really quick. Welcome. All right. Huh?
Still going?
Yeah, let's do one more question or a few more questions.
One more and then wrap up.
Yeah, something interesting.
Business or life, general?
Business or life? Let's do more life.
Life. Well, let's get to know. Tell stories.
Yeah, let's tell some stories.
What made you realize you don't want to work for anyone else? Like, why do you want to be an entrepreneur? What's your story?
Yeah, my story, why do I want to be an entrepreneur, what made me realize that I didn't want to work for someone else. It was never a question of, I never even considered working for anyone else. I believe maybe that's because I was born into a family where my dad was always a businessman, like ever since I can remember myself. I never even considered um, other ways of living. Like I never considered being a doctor. I never considered being an engineer. I never considered being, you know, a scientist. Nothing. I just always, from the very, my earliest memories in life, I remember that yeah, I'm gonna do something related to like business and building my own company or something like this. I didn't know it was gonna be internet, or I didn't know it was gonna be, you know, working with my dad or anything like this. But it was always like. Yeah, it was always yeah, it was always just business and entrepreneurship, and so I never wanted to go work for anybody else. For some reason, I understood that you will never be able to be rich working for anybody else, and I want to get rich, and yeah, it just never even crossed my mind. So as soon as when I basically my life was decided for me up until I was like 21 years old. Really. Up until like 8 or 9 years ago, my life was decided for me. Okay, you're gonna go to this school, you're gonna go to this university, you're gonna go to this military, right? And then I'm like, I remember last year of uni, um, last half a year of uni, I started really thinking, okay, well, I'm finishing uni. I know I'm gonna go to the military for 6 years, but what am I gonna do? Oh, 6 months. But so what am I gonna do after that? And then I really started to think, okay, well, I need to make money. How am I gonna do it? Okay, I can do it through the internet. Then I started learning. Um, so at 2021, that's when I really started to take, you know, matters into my own hands, and that's when I started to take responsibility for my own life, and that's when I really started to learn how to be an adult, how to do adult things, you know, how to provide value, how to make money. So yeah, that was the thing. Um, what else? What was the question? Oh yeah, and how did I fall into it? And then I just started researching how to make money online, and that's how I ended up here. I
Why,
did I did many different things.
why did you decide this online? Make money online? Why not build a factory or
I wanted to have
develop a
the
product?
I wanted to have the freedom, right? So the reason why internet is freedom. Coming back to that motivation question you asked, now I'm thinking I'm reconsidering because it feels like my biggest motivation was freedom. After all, from the very start, I saw my dad, you know, like having factories, and so I was like, okay, I don't want to have that. I don't want to be tied into one place. Always have to come back to it one place and yada yada yada. So I wanted to be flexible. I wanted to be like able to work anywhere in the world. And this was like back in 2017, you know? So, or even earlier. Was it earlier? No, I think it was 2017 or 16. And then I started just researching like how to make money online. You know, different gurus popped up on the internet. I started following like what they do. Now, mistake I did was I didn't do what they did. I did what they said. And that's the thing you need to learn. Don't listen, don't do what they say, do what they do, you know? So, what I should have been doing from the very start was learning how to make content, building out my personal brand, building out my site, you know, building out an email list, creating digital products. That's what I should have been doing from the very start. But instead, I took the hard route of learning a gazillion different things. I guess I had to learn them one way or the other. Um, but I feel like I've taken a much harder path. Like I had to learn everything the hard way, which I did. Um, and now I'm in this building stage, I would say. Yeah. Okay, cool. I think we're gonna wrap it up for this session. We have 5 people watching. So thank you so much for tuning in, Sabir.
I have a wrap-up question.
Yeah, wrap up question. All right, one bonus question. There we go. Let's go.
Just someone watching, they wanna start an online business.
Okay.
They're just starting out. Give me concrete. What do I do next?
Okay.
I wanna make money online.
All right. You want to make money online? You're a complete beginner.
Yeah, just like I have no idea.
Learn how to make content.
Okay, how? What? Where do I go? Give me some resources. Some next step. What?
Yeah. So the single most important thing on the internet is traffic. The single easiest way to get traffic is by creating content. I'm not talking about blogs, I'm talking about videos. So step number 1, create a YouTube account. Step number 2, grab your computer or phone. Step number 3, go to YouTube Incognito and start researching questions that people ask about different softwares. You know, Revolut how to, Wise how to, different apps on your phone. Just look at any of the apps you have on your phone, type them into YouTube Incognito, and then put the extension how to, and you will see all the different questions that pop up. And then just start making these videos and get creative, right? Get creative and make really good, helpful videos that just answer the questions. That's the thing. Do that, and you're gonna start making money. Post them, make those videos, download CapCut, record your screen, record your voice. Get CapCut, put the screen recording into CapCut, cut it up, make it nice and tight, make a thumbnail in canva.com, upload the video, and do that many times over. You're gonna make money, I guarantee. Sabir, I want you to cut up this last short here. I think it's gonna be great. Cool. Well, if you don't have any more questions, I'm gonna round it up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sabir, really appreciate you. Really appreciate everybody else. Sabir, we'll need to cut this up into shorts as well. So yes, we're gonna get a recording for this, and we have a second camera here as well. So cool. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you sometime soon. I'll be doing more of these. All right. Take care. Have a good Saturday.